Hey yo, it's Vondo. Call of Duty Vanguard's Multiplayer Reveal occurred a couple hours ago. Had a couple of notes, things I'd like to discuss, some concerns, positives, and don't know if the voice is raspy or not. What if it is? Just gotta roll with it. But the first thing we're gonna talk about is combat pacing, because some members in this community floated the idea that this was, a solution to skill-based matchmaking. I don't get where that came from at all. I initially thought this was just them rebranding the player counts for these game modes, because they did this last year when it came to combined arms. That's just 10v10 domination and team deathmatch, or is it like 12v12 in Cold War? It's something like that. It's not something different or new at all. It's just a different name. And how you know this is the case? Because tactical gameplay or tactical combat pacing is 6v6. That's the standard multiplayer. And then assault is like the 10v10, 12v12. And then Blitzkrieg moves up into that, those 20v20, 32v32 player counts. So it's just them rebranding, standard 6v6 multiplayer, ground war, and then ground war for Modern Warfare 2019, which, the large-scale maps, the vehicles, and whatnot. So I don't get the whole, this is going to solve skill-based matchmaking because tactical's going to have slower players, while assault has faster players. I don't get where that came from at all. It was just simple rebranding, and people that's been in this community so long just didn't have the wherewithal to notice that, which I don't get at all. And they wouldn't do anything talking about skill-based matchmaking right now, or at all in general. So don't get where that came from. But enough with that tangent. Let's go into one of our bigger concerns, and it is when it deals with perk balance. It's radar. It is a traditional mini-map and a perk, and what I don't get why they added this into the game, because these developers always talk about they don't want to have crutch perks in their games. An example of this would be dead silence, and of course toughness or flinch reduction when getting shot at in the past. But they made the radar, the traditional radar, a tier 2 perk. And the thing is, in the tier 2 slot, from what I've seen so far, there's nothing to really contest it. It's the obvious choice. It's the same issue that Black Ops Cold War had when it came to its wild cards, and how having 6 perks was just better than having everything else it could offer, like a couple extra attachments, or an extra primary, or 2 secondaries, or 1 tier 1 perk, an extra tier 1 perk, or 2 extra tier 1 perks. So I don't get the idea, I don't get the reasoning on why they would make this a perk at all, or why it's in tier 2 where it's clearly uncontested. If they want this to be a bit more competitive and balanced, you got to put it in tier 1 with Ghost and Fortified, which is basically Flat Jacket or EOD, because then that's where you get some really interesting decisions and trade-offs. But in tier 2, yeah, not at all. Or what? High alert? Who cares? Or if you use specialists, if you're gonna use specialists, then you don't have to worry about that at all. You'll just be a really good super soldier. But yeah, the decision to have this perk at all is puzzling, and they gotta either make a decision to put it in a different tier, so tier 1, or just remove the perk altogether, and then decide whether or not they want traditional minimap or not. But I doubt they're going to do that, because they haven't done many perk rebalances in the past when it comes to moving them to different tiers. But yeah, it's the clear winner for the tier 2 option. It's the clear winner. I don't see anyone using other perks in tier 2. I really don't. And we don't have the full perk list, but it's obviously the best perk in that slot currently. That's all I gotta say about that. Another concern I have is the armor plates, and it's because a field upgrade. If they were a kill shot, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But being that it's a field upgrade, you're going to see them quite frequently throughout the match, because they have a fast recharge rate, and you just got to deal with having multiple other players. If you're playing something like Assault or Blitzkrieg, then you got a chance to them at least 10 players that have armor plates, which will be really annoying. But I'm going to assume the counter for armor plates will be that it's only one armor plate, and of course that the FMJ or armor piercing rounds, they completely negate them having armor plates at all, which I hope that's the case, because if it's not, then the time to kill is going to be really inconsistent and frustrating when dealing with armored players, and it'll just lead to you running specific attachments to deal with them, like in Black Ops 4, because in Black Ops 4 I'd always use the FMJ rounds, so I didn't have to deal with the extra time to kill with armor, and being that game had a longer time to kill in general. But that's one issue. But hopefully it's only one armor plate, and hopefully FMJ or the armor piercing rounds balances that out, and it's a hard counter. When it comes to other minor concerns, it have to be the armor piercing vision, or no, oh, piercing vision, my bad. And this basically with the destructible environments, I'm going to assume it's a weapon perk. If you shoot through one of these breakable walls, you're able to see the enemy through that wall. So it's like a snapshot grenade and of course FMJ combined into one. This will only be an issue early on in the match when all those, you know, walls are still up. But when it comes to other game modes like Search and Destroy, I think it'll be an issue for the first couple of rounds because again all those walls are still up. But then after that, it won't, you know, garner much use because all those environments are going to be destroyed by then. But it could be, you know, something annoying to start the game off with. But at least only in the beginning and it won't last the entire match. Do I have any other thoughts and concerns about balance? Of course, 10 attachments could get messy and hairy real quick. We just gotta wait and see when it's in, you know, players' actual hands. Because maybe having 10 attachments will make your footsteps very loud. Maybe not. I don't know what they're gonna do to balance everything out yet. I am aware they have 2 weapon perks, which is nice. You have a bunch of different combinations you can use right there. But it's 10 attachments. It can get real messy real soon. And we just gotta wait and see with the beta when it comes to, you know, overall weapon balance and, you know, the attachments and creating, you know, loadouts. Of course, the maps. They're having 4 maps in the beta. They're having like 20 maps at launch. That's a positive. You just gotta hope that the maps are good. That's really all I gotta say on the multiplayer maps. When it came to some of the gameplay I saw from other content creators, players didn't look, you know, very hard to see. So that's good, but that's me watching a video. It could be color corrected. They could do a lot of stuff to make the video look real nice and real presentable. I still gotta play it. It's really that simple. I still gotta play it. Content creators said that the footsteps weren't loud, and again, just with dead silence being a field upgrade, or I didn't even mention dead silence field upgrade. With dead silence being a field upgrade and the footsteps not being very loud when these content creators played them, that is going to change. So to make dead silence useful, it's really that simple. Because if the footsteps are very quiet right now, then why would they use dead silence? They're gonna make dead silence useful, making the footsteps a bit louder. So prepare for that. And the last thing we'll spitball on will be the lack of historical accuracy. You're gonna see this apparent when it comes to weapon customization, of course, the cosmetics. And of course, in one of my earlier videos that I recorded last night about the game not being historically accurate, well guess what? We're gonna see a samurai operator. And while we haven't seen it in the trailer, just based off the history of this franchise, they're gonna make samurai operator. So very cool. But I'm not surprised that happened at all. Like, I fucking called it. But yes, weapon customization is not going to be historically accurate. They're not going to have historically accurate characters completely. They'll be based off some real depictions, but they're going to do what they want with them. And last but not least, they're not going to have any factions, so you're going to be able to use any operator on any team. This is just to optimize them selling the most cosmetics, which is a no-brainer if you ask me. But without the way, ladies and gentlemen, y'all stay safe, and I'm out.